Yeah, this video is about my day yesterday. Overlook Mountain in Woodstock, and yeah, so I'm basically gonna explain to you what went down, and it's gonna be some swearing, so be mindful. I gotta be respectful, but yeah, I swear a lot, so yeah, so that's that. So basically, to explain what happened yesterday was this. So me and the guys, Matthew, Will, Matthew's friend Gary, we've kind of planned this thing like last minute. We're supposed to go to like, I don't know, I think it was Ithaca again or some shit. And I was on Facebook and I found this place somebody posted, and I was like, you know what, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I love decay. I love it. I love urban decay, the whole 9 yards. Street photography, that's just my thing, if you guys haven't already noticed that. But so basically the idea was this: before we went, I saw some pictures, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, I'm a photographer, I can do this, it's gonna be great. You know, there's abandoned buildings throughout the you know, the trails up there. And when I say trails, I thought this was trails. And the funny thing is, between me and Will, we didn't really take in consideration that Overlook Mountain was a mountain. Like, I mean, it's the obvious, you know what I mean? But it was like a pretty dumb observation that we did not make. So, you know, we're headed there. It's about 3 hours away from Syracuse. And the drive was awesome, you know what I mean? A lot of scenery. Like, because I'm a taxi driver, I go out there quite a bit with train crews, and I kind of know the area going towards Albany and all that type of stuff, but I've never been to Woodstock before, so I was like, hell yeah, Woodstock. We didn't see the town or anything like that, but the next time we do go, I'm going to make sure we do actually stop in the town just to see, like, if what it's like, you know what I mean? Maybe that has some history of the actual Woodstock, I don't know. But needless to say, so we're headed up there. I'm jamming out. I got all my music going and shit. We're pumped. We get up there. The GPS location they give you on the, I think it's Google Maps we used, it does not bring you to the actual location of the park. So we had to like go through this, I don't know, it was like there's a road that led all the way up to these houses, beautiful homes, you know what I mean? Like, people got money out there, and it's scaling the mountain, but the other side of the mountain that we were supposed to be on. So I ended up having to go to the actual website to the park, and the address is to this Buddhist temple. And what happens is we eventually got there, and there's a parking area for the actual mountain, and then across the street there's the temple, and there's posted signs everywhere: don't park here, you know, you'll be towed or whatever. But there's a small location for the mountain. We get out there, you know, we start eating and stuff before we take, you know, energy and all that type of stuff. Immediately the flies are killing us, right? No spray in the world's gonna get them away. Like, they were hitting us, right? So we get done eating. Will's gung-ho. He goes into the trail. It was me and the 2 juveniles. Sorry, Matthew and Gary, if you saw that. But yeah, he leaves me with Matthew and Gary. And he just barrels up that mountain. Where we were going was, there's a tower that overlooks the mountains, right? And it wasn't just one mountain. It's like, I want to say that this is connected to the Catskill region, but I'm not 100% sure. I got to do a little bit more research on that, but I think it might be. I don't know. So, you know, we're walking up the mountain and stuff. Like, so the thing with me is this: you you know, I like hiking. I haven't done it in a long time. It's been actually like maybe like 3 or 4 years. And we're starting to do this now that I have a car. Like every week I'm going to be trying to go somewhere new. And the thing with me is that like I have asthma, and me doing any mountain, I mean, I have to take my time. I have to, you know, do it. You know what I mean? Like I go to the gym kind of regularly, so I mean, like I'm in shape. But like the thing is like if I'm just charging up mountains and stuff like that, like I have a hard time. So me and the dudes had to take our time a little bit. Meanwhile, Will's still barreling up the mountain, right? Now, with the mindset that we did not think that we were going to be climbing a mountain, you know what I mean? Will, at some point, what he was telling me was, it eventually started dawning on him that this is actually the trail. And the trail is 2.5 miles to where we need to be. There's offshoot trails, which is why I want to go back again, because there's this place called Devil's Kitchen, and like just a bunch of stuff that we didn't have enough time because of the downfall of this trip. Okay, now so me and the dudes, we're walking, and all of a sudden in the distance we hear this rumbling, like it sounded like tidal waves from a distance. And as we're walking, the sound just keeps getting louder. Meanwhile, I have my camera out ready to take pictures, right? I thought it was a trail. We've been doing fucking Beaver Lake runs and shit like that, and I mean, like, it's nothing, right? So I'm assuming it's gonna be a stroll in the park. But needless to say, whatever. So we hear it coming, and it's coming, and it's getting loud. And I'm like, you know what? We're sitting there debating, and Matthew's like, this is rain. I'm like, oh man, right? Every time that we go shooting in the rain, when we went to Ithaca, I got shots out of it, but the amount of work that I had to do to make sure that the lens was just dry, and you know what I mean? Eventually the lenses fog up. I don't want that going on with my equipment. The shit is too expensive to deal with that. And waterproof equipment, for anybody that's interested in doing photography, they make money off that shit, and it's not cheap. I've looked into it. My equipment, I'm sure, can deal with some wetness, but I don't even want to take a chance. Like, I've invested way too much money in this equipment to even fuck around. So I wasn't into taking photos and having my camera out in the rain. Now, this trail is 2.5 miles on incline. Okay, so like there was barely any flat ground. Eventually, as we're walking up, because Woodstock is not a city, like you can feel how thin the fucking air is. Like me adjusting to that, like I had to seriously take my time. I've had some very bad episodes with asthma before, and I get very emotional because I just don't need that episode. We're in the middle of the woods on a hill, like something happens. We got 2 kids, you know, taking care of me, you know, and like Will, like it was slightly irritating that he took off, but I know Will, that's what he does. He loves being a loner. I'm the same way, but considering the circumstances, like I need people around me just in case something happens. Not to be so dramatic about it, but I am. So the rain starts coming down, and me and Matthew are chilling by the tree, like trying to get some cover. Like these trees, they're not like Syracuse. Like they don't catch rain at all. I can't tell you what type of trees they are, but they just don't catch rain. We were soaked in a matter of seconds. Now the rain was not bothering me, but as we're going up, I have to take my time because, like I said, I have to adjust to the, you know, the air quality. And the air quality is amazing up there. Like, it is not like living in Syracuse. But getting a little bit fatigued and lightheaded because my body is not used to it. But eventually what happened was I eventually did adjust to that style of, or that quality of air. And I'm telling you, like, I had good energy. this is definitely, like, it was awesome. So as we're still walking, right, and we all of a sudden, you know, hail starts happening, right? And we're talking like the hail size was probably like a little less than golf ball size at first. And, you know, we're kind of freaking out. We're questioning whether or not we should go back. And then a guy comes down and he's like, yeah, you know, Woodstock is expecting thunderstorms, okay? And I'm like, okay, great. I knew it was going to rain out there, but thunderstorm watch, I mean, you know, it just bothered me a little bit. But I was like, you know what? We came this far. Let's fucking do this, right? I was questioning it as we go up. And then, like, because of the rain, we found an overhang. And I eventually adjusted my whole situation. I went and put all of my shit into my backpack, and my hoodie that I was wearing and all that type of stuff went into the backpack, and I was just gunning it. All my equipment was in there, and I pretty much came to the decision, like, until we figure out where Will is, for one, and what we're going to do from that point on, like, I just turned into hiking mode. I did not care about photography at that point because of what I've stated earlier. And if I was able to get photos later on, sure, like, I hope it would just pass. But that's the thing. The storm did not fucking pass, and it was just there. So at this point, we were probably like 35% of the way through the trail. And we're debating it through the whole time. I'm still kind of like adjusting to the air a little bit more. And then, like, the second guy came down with his wife or girlfriend or some shit. And this is where it starts to get a little crazy. They mention how Woodstock had a tornado warning. And yeah, I mean, like, you can't really, like, predict that before you go, you know what I'm saying? So yet again, I don't know, maybe we could have done a little bit more research or whatever, internet nonsense, whatever. We had no reception. I couldn't look at any warnings. Amber alerts were kind of coming in to Matthew's phone, but not mine. And we're like, okay, cool, tornado, press on, right? We're basically like 75% up the hill, me, Gary, and Matthew. And then again, hell starts happening, right? And it's bigger than golf ball size. We managed to find another shelter to kind of like rewind a little bit. At this point, the thunder and all that stuff was happening and all that, and me and Matthew, like, we kind of hung back a little bit, and Gary's like, I'm pressing on, man. Gary, you're an animal, dude. Because what was just about to happen was me and Matthew took refuge because the rain was coming down hard first. And then once we got under the second overhang, there's two overhangs on the main trail, we just stumble across it because we've never been there before, you know what I'm saying? So me and Matthew, you know, we get under that thing, and all of a sudden the hail starts coming down. Gary is shirtless. He gave Matthew his shirt to cover his backpack because Matthew also has equipment. Like, we're thinking about our equipment this whole entire time. And Gary just goes barreling up the hill, right? And me and Matthew were sitting there, we're having a cousin moment and shit. Like, it was cute. By the way, Matthew, we got emotional a little bit. Life. And then we were just waiting it out, and the hail stopped. The rain was off and on. We eventually were like, you know what, this is the time, we gotta go. What we were going towards was, in the midst of going up this hill, we kind of knew there was an abandoned asylum, and that's what I was shooting for, obviously, because, I mean, when I hear about that type of shit, I just love the idea. It's just, it's my thing, you know what I mean? And the third guy is like, you know, when everybody started coming down more and more as we were going up the trail, I just constantly questioned, how far do we have? How far do we have? Where is there shelter? What's going on? Like, it's thunderstorming, man. Like, you know, the shit was very surreal. We're on the fucking mountain, and as we're climbing this mountain, and when we were actually having like open spaces to see the other mountains, like, we're in cloud territory. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, we're in cloud territory, and we're in the middle of a storm. You know what I'm saying? So this one dude walks down. He gets clocked in the head at some point with like a baseball-sized hailstone, and like, you know, he's just telling us like, yo, man, this is like the third or fourth guy telling us like, there's tornado watches coming, you need to turn back. And me and Matthew were like, we gotta find Will, we gotta find Gary. Gary's up there with Will. You know, like, this whole entire time, like, all three of us were like, we can't be pussies. Like, we have to do this. At some point, was like, yes, we got to do this. Like, we've come this far, we got to do this. And then eventually, like, I'm starting to freak out a little bit. In the back of my mind, I got, hey, this tornado might be coming, you know what I mean? But I was like, you know, let's just keep doing this. We have come this far. There might be shelter. We can take refuge. You know what I mean? It'll be cool. Like, so the fourth guy comes, or fifth guy comes, whatever. I'm losing track. And he's like, you know, I asked him, I was like, how far do we have? He's like, you're finally at flat ground. There's no more climbing. So I was like, hell yeah, you know, I'm not going to be panting anymore. And he's like, you know, you got another like 10, 15 minutes. And he was right. We had 10, 15 minutes. At this point, like, we can really see the gorges through the trees. It's like, it's very visible. But the thing is like, fog and cloud, like, everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you can't see the bottom. There's no pictures to take unless you have patience with the storm and the rain. Like, it bums me out, man, because this shit was a fucking experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if anybody knows me, like, they know I have anxiety, like, and I do. And I was blocking it out the entire time. Like, I had to, like, kind of be there if need be, you know what I mean? Like, I had to be 100% as best as I could be. Wasn't totally afraid, but I mean, like, it's there, you know what I mean? You're in this shit. So we finally, me and Matthew, you know, in the distance, we see the asylum, and it is just nothing but a brick wall with windows that once were, like, window slots that once were. If I had to guess, I mean, I didn't do any research on it, but I think the shit was like 1800s, maybe, possibly. I mean, there was no exterior anything. Like, there was no doors, there's no windows. It was just like literally the holes that you would place windows into. You know what I mean? Like, it was just concrete. Once we actually got up to the steps of the fucking asylum, yet again, the air got thinner. You know what I mean? Like, I was out of breath, and you know, it's storming and shit. Matthew goes in, you know, all of a sudden Will comes out of one of those window holes. I'm like, we found him, man. I knew at some point in going up the trails, like, Will knows what to do, because he did take off, and I knew what he was going to do. Like, he stuck out at that asylum. It's almost like, you know, wavelengths. Like, we just kind of know that. I'm investing in walkie-talkies, though, because when he does that shit, it drives me nuts a little bit. Like, you know, but I get it. Fucking artists love being by themselves. Like, I love being by myself for the most part. So, I mean, like, I can't totally, like, be a douchebag about it, but he would have lightened the load a little bit if he was sticking around. But that's a totally different conversation. So, okay, where was I? So, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to adjust a little bit, right? And I get in there and I'm trying to, like, absorb the surroundings. There's two dudes there hanging out with Will and shit. They get to know each other the 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes that they were there. Really cool dudes, hippies, you know. And I'm just kind of like soaking it in, and like at this point, like tornado, tornado, tornado from all those guys, like it's in the back of my mind. Like we're conversing, we're shooting the shit, whatever. And as me and Will start talking, he's gonna have some pictures, and I might actually post some of them at the end of this video or something. But he's gonna put them on the Team Ice Cream site too. So I'm gonna try to put this link in Team Ice Cream, and I'm gonna put it on my page. But he's got photos of things, you know. It doesn't really, I didn't see them all, I don't exactly know what he has, but as we were like going up these stairs to go into the back of the building, like there's no flooring, there's nothing, like there's no doors, there's nothing. Like it was seriously was like ruins of like older days, and you know what I mean? Like it was cool. Like I was like, yes, like this is what I want, like this is exactly what I've been looking for, you know what I mean? Like I haven't been into like something like this since me and Matthew fucking last summer, you know what I mean? Like with that abandoned factory I went into, like that is my shtick. Like I love that shit. And I didn't have a vantage point though of where everything was all open. There was no rooms, nothing. Like I couldn't just like set up shop and then like use it as a focal point to what I was doing, because it was just raining. There was no roof, nothing. Like it sucked. Like it fucking sucked. So, but there was this little cubby, you know what I mean? It was there. But to get to the craziest part about this adventure, okay, is me and Will were talking. I know I sidetrack a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize. We're going on 22 minutes. But as me and Will were going to go around the back of this building, we go up this little staircase. You can see this tower, like literally, like I would say maybe it was 20 feet away from us. And I believe it wasn't necessarily a tower. I believe it was a lightning rod, okay? Or it could have even been like a cell phone tower. But like in the midst of going back there instantaneously, I swear to God, this fucking lightning bolt hit this goddamn thing. Like, we were so close to it, me and Will. Like, all I can remember was this. Like, as it hit the fucking thing, all I saw was streaks of blue, yellow, nothing but white, and then Will's face like, ah! And like all I remember doing was I seriously screamed like, what the fuck? Like dude, it was insane. Like my blood was fucking pumping, dude. Like I thought I had like a mini heart attack or some shit. Like from that point on, like I kind of like lost my shit. Like we go like it scared the shit out of 6 people. Me and Will, I think I don't know who was closer. Matthew thinks Matthew and Gary seemed to be closer to the thing or whatever, but like I was close enough. I was like, fuck that shit. So I'm trying to like adjust myself. Like I was just not in any state of security like at all. There was nothing near me to just calm me down. Like I could not get to, like I couldn't. So I go back in the cubby. All of us go back in the cubby. At this point, like lightning's everywhere. You know, the storm is coming in, winds are whipping, and I'm sitting in there in sitting in this I guess you could say it's a closet. It's like a janitor's closet or some shit. I don't know, from back in the day. And I'm sitting in the corner and I'm just trying to like get my shit together. My stomach is just going crazy. Like I eat a granola bar just to calm it down. Like I was in a lot of different situations that I couldn't really handle. So what ended up happening was, I don't know why Will got the idea to do this, but he was pushing forward to get to that mountain to take shots. I handed to him. It was a dumbass decision as far as I'm concerned. He got some shots the best he could. Him and Gary, like, they gunned it. Me and Matthew stayed back. And yeah, from what Will was saying, from his vantage point where he was, like, you could see the you could see in between the mountains. And if you had to ask me, like, from what I know a little bit about mountain areas, like, it does kind of like create a vortex for tornadoes and shit. Like, tornadoes and winds travel through there and it just whips. You know, he said the winds were going like 40 miles an hour and shit where he was. Like, I'm telling you, I lost it. Like, I was so aggravated that he just did it. I, yet again, understand why he did it, but, like, dude, I couldn't fucking handle it. You know, and there's an actual tower there. If you climb it, it's like a 5-minute climb or some shit to get up on this tower outlook, and you will see mountains in a 360 view, like mountains everywhere type deal. When I went to the Adirondacks, it was exactly that. It's like one of the most serene one of the most serene views you will ever see. You know what I mean? Going there, it was just a bad day. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it wasn't an adventure. I mean, it was an adventure, like, straight up. Like, never put myself in that situation ever in my life. I think the four of us, it was just the same deal. You know what I mean? Like, stupid, yes. Feeling free, most definitely. Being one with the universe, sure. Like, that whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, it was something. And never gonna forget this day. This is why I think I like what I do with my photography. It's like a passion. Even though yesterday was a fucked up day, like, I'm still loving the fact that we did it. And you know, I'm pretty sure the four of us could say that. And to have an extra person come along with us, it was different. This dude, Gary, you're an animal. I'll say it again, you're an animal. You got some balls, man. I like that. So yeah, I'm sorry to take up all your guys' time. It's like 27 minutes. But you guys got any questions about it, just ask me. I know me doing YouTube videos is weird. I find it to be weird, but I didn't necessarily want to just, like, leave this out. I've been milking this fucking idea of going there for a week. Some of you guys really want to see pictures of what I didn't get a single fucking shot, dude. Like, it aggravates me, but I am going to be planning on going back at some point in the summer or even sooner. Just depends, but there are so many trails up there that I want to utilize because, I mean, even just going Woodstock, in the village of Woodstock, like, I want to get shots of that. Like, if there's shit from the 60s, I don't know. Like, I've done no research. Somebody will even probably tell me that there is, but, like, I want to utilize it. Like, music's my passion. So, like, if I was living in the time of Woodstock, you bet your ass I'd be fucking there, dude. Like, but needless to say, like I said, if you guys got any questions about it, you want to know a little bit more, I can talk to you one-on-one about it. Just leave comments on YouTube or something. Just message me on Instagram. I'll let you know what's up. This place is definitely worthwhile from what I saw. I wanted to see more. That's why this is such a fucking bummer. Like, there is so much there that we haven't even seen. Like, I definitely say it's worth doing, and I plan on going to a lot of different hiking areas this summer because, like I said, I have the means of doing this shit now, and my photography is just gonna fucking explode, and I'm pretty sure Will's is going to too. So if you're interested in seeing Matthew's version of this, he actually has footage of what we were doing for the most part. Will's got a couple clips. We're gonna try to combine them together. It's gonna be on the Team Ice Cream YouTube page, and then Matthew does his blog or vlogs. You know, he's got a little thing going on, so check that shit out too. I'm gonna try to put the links at the end of this video. So thanks for sticking around for 30 minutes. I appreciate it, and I always love the support. Thank you, and enjoy your day.